You mentioned a lot of young players coming through. Well, there's a lot of young players on display at the other game in Twickenham over the weekend for England. Only, 5 caps in total against the experienced Barbars team. What do you make of that match?
I can't, but I thought the
was
Barbars
amazed.
going to absolutely smoke them.
They've drank a lot last week.
Yeah, they've been out in London.
I remember we were saying last week at a couple of the live shows, we were like, whichever team's playing for England, whoever's playing that team, good luck, because there's some absolute rock stars and some absolute monsters playing that Barbars team. But it shows what you can, the Barbars obviously, of course they wanted to beat England, and they love being part of a festival of rugby and all that stuff. But Joe Marler did an interview afterwards and some interviews before the game and just said it's the best rugby week he's had, because he's just getting to know people and drinking. His liver hasn't recovered yet and all this stuff. And, you've got a load of young English players that, they worked like caves. I watched them defend and they're flying off the line. They picked up a few tries because the Barbars are trying things that in a normal game the opposition wouldn't perhaps try, but because it's the Barbars, they're trying out the back, flicks here, there and everywhere. Don Brandt, Alex Don Brandt.
I saw his highlights.
Phenomenal. And you talk about a lot of those players, everyone talks about what is the makeup of this England training squad going to be. Well, we had Chris Ashton on here last week, the England training squad of 45 that apparently is not going to be announced for another 4 or 5 weeks or something. Whereas a lot of other squads have announced a wider squad already, haven't they? A lot of other countries. You look at the depth of players, and it goes back to the depth of players in England compared to other nations. We've got a hell of a lot of depth.
So many, mate. There's so many good players in England. It's frightening.
Do you see any of those young players? I mean, you mentioned Alex Don Brandt making the 45 or making the trip to Japan.
No, I think someone like Don Brandt, we mentioned it earlier in the season, didn't we? Like, I remember you speaking about it when he was playing so well for Quins. I think England could do with another ball carrier in the back row.
Yeah.
I really could. I mean, we all know how good Curry is. Wilson's a workhorse. Someone like Don Brandt on the bench. Imagine him in a World Cup training camp getting fit, maybe losing 2 or 3 kegs.
Well, he's lost a hell of a lot of weight this year already. As in, he's lost bad weight, and he looks good now. I remember one of the interviews Paul Gustard did at the start of the year saying, "I've got to work on his uni bod." I was like, amazing. But then I'd get Don Brandt in the squad straight away, give him an opportunity.